What's going on, everyone? My name is Eric and this is the Get Me Out of Here vlog. Today I'm in the city of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, the second biggest city in the Hawkeye State. And behind me right here is the symbol of the city. This is the Tree of 5 Seasons. We all know there's 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. But here in Cedar Rapids, there is a 5th season as well, and that is the season of embracing each and every other season. To embrace every day and to live them to their fullest. It started as an ad campaign about 50 years ago to bring people to the city, to live for each and every day. Cedar Rapids is not a major metropolis, so you don't have a lot of rush hour and standstill traffic. Therefore, you have the freedom to commute to and from work and home and have more time to yourself each and every day. So that was the reasoning behind this symbol of the 5th season and the city of 5 seasons. So here is the Tree of 5 Seasons here along the Cedar River. It's actually under construction right now. Not sure what changes they're making, but I want to take you on a special tour here of Cedar Rapids. I was born here. This is the city of my birth. I came into being here at St. Luke's Hospital back in 1986 here in Cedar Rapids. So I have a place in mind to show you today. There is a place of high elevation that was created in recent years that will give us the best view of the city. So follow me. I'm going to take you on an adventure of the second largest city in the Hawkeye State, the state of Iowa. Follow me. You know what? I just noticed there is an open path to the tree after all. I just did my intro behind this fence, but look at this. It is open on this north side. There you have it, folks. The Tree of 5 Seasons, the symbol of Cedar Rapids. City of 5 Seasons. Look, I had to represent. 5 Seasons, Cedar Rapids. A much better view of the Tree of 5 Seasons. Now, another thing that a lot of locals joke about is instead of calling this the City of 5 Seasons, they call Cedar Rapids the City of 5 Cents. Because Cedar Rapids has the largest cereal factory in the world, Quaker Oats. It's actually right behind me. You can see it right here. That is Quaker Oats. That's where Captain Crunch comes from. Life cereal, oatmeal. That is the largest cereal factory in the world. So people get a lot of smells wafting from the Quaker Oats factory, as well as other manufacturing plants here in town, and a lot of the agriculture surrounding the city as well. So you do get a lot of different smells that will waft your way while visiting Cedar Rapids. Hopefully, it's the sweet smell of crunch berries. That's what you can hope for. Whenever you're in Cedar Rapids, it's the sweet smell of crunch berries, Captain Crunch Berries. And here is a plaque reading the Tree of 5 Seasons Plaza, dedicated on May 18th, 1996, 25 years ago. Hard to believe. Boy, time flies. Also, that building you see straight ahead is the old City Hall. In fact, it's resting on an island in the middle of the Cedar River. That island is very small. It's called Mays Island, but at one time that was the only city hall in the world located on an island. In 2008, a devastating flood occurred here along the banks of the Cedar River. Downtown Cedar Rapids was completely underwater. To this day, it is one of the worst natural disasters in American history, and it was a catalyst for a lot of the changes that have happened in the surrounding neighborhoods here since then, 13 years ago. It is extremely windy out today, which is kind of eerie because it's almost the 1-year anniversary of the Iowa derecho. It was a straight-lined windstorm that swept across the state of Iowa last year, producing hurricane-force winds. Cedar Rapids, in particular, was struck harder than most other regions, and they are still recovering from that today. I did a video last year on the devastation of the Iowa derecho. I recommend check it out. I'll link it after this video today. Straight ahead is the Quaker Oats factory, the largest cereal factory in the world. That's where Captain Crunch comes from. as well as oatmeal and Life cereal. Tree of 5 seasons. Another shot from across the Cedar River of the Tree of 5 Seasons here in downtown Cedar Rapids. Here is Mays Island, the old courthouse, and you can see actually right there they've got a water meter. Back in 2008, this island was completely flooded. You can see it's 22 feet just up to that top point. I read online that the river actually crested at like 32 feet during that time period back in 2008, so pretty wild. Well, here it is, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is Mount Trashmore here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Now, this was originally a landfill that opened up in 1965. This is where all the residents of Cedar Rapids trash and garbage went until 2006. This was shut down in 2006, but then something happened here. That devastating flood that I was telling you about earlier in 2008 occurred, and over 400,000 tons of cleanup were dumped here in 2008. So this landfill was actually opened up again 2 years after the fact to be used for flood damage. So the city, after that occurred, decided to shut it down once and for all, but turn it into a recreational park. So now we get to hike to the top of a hill of garbage, and the city has nicknamed it Mount Trashmore. Mount Rushmore is a famous park in South Dakota. That's where the presidential heads are carved into the side of the rock. Well, this is Mount Trashmore. There's no faces carved into this, at least not yet. Maybe someday there will be a Mount Rushmore of Mount Trashmore here in Cedar Rapids, of famous people in Cedar Rapids history. I don't think that will ever happen, but who knows? You never know. Well, today I am going to hike to the top of Mount Trashmore, where there is a spectacular view of Cedar Rapids, the Cedar River, and the surrounding area. This is actually the highest point in Cedar Rapids now, 950 feet above sea level. So let's go, let's do this. Let's hike to the top of Mount Trashmore. Upon parking, there is a sign that says all users must check in at building. There is a building over here, so I guess I got to go over there first and check in before I make my treacherous hike to the top. Here at the registration office, it says 948 feet. So I stand corrected. It's not 950, it's 948 feet above sea level. Guy might have COVID. Here is the check-in kiosk that all visitors must sign before they hike to the top. And here is a waiver I need to sign too, because it's a very treacherous hike to the top of this mountain of garbage. Look at this, they've got information on the history of the landfill as well. Oh, this building was just created in 2020, last year. And check this out, they got an actual water bottle station. So if you come ill-prepared like I did for a hike like this, you can hydrate here at the bottom of the mountain. I think they call that the base, right? And without further ado, here we go. This is the start of the trek up to the summit of Mount Trashmore, the highest peak of Cedar Rapids. Well, I have to say, here in Iowa, we treat you nice. Before you climb a mountain in Iowa, you have air-conditioned bathrooms and water refilling stations. Can't complain. We don't do it like they do in Colorado. So Mount Trashmore, before it was a landfill, was a quarry back in the 19th century. And this is what remains. A lot of natural prairie grass now. Here's the official sign. Welcome to Mount Trashmore, elevation 948 feet. This is gonna be a doozy. And like most mountains, you have the option to take the stairs or the natural way. You know what? I'm taking the steps on this one. I mean, come on, how often do I get to use stairs climbing up the beginning of a mountain? Except for maybe the Manitou Incline in Colorado. That thing's brutal. Here are your options for trails. You've got the Trashmore Trail, which is downhill biking only, the Stumptown Trail and the Overlook Trail, which are both for hiking, and then of course the number 4 Overlook at the top. I think number 2 looks the most interesting. I'm going to do the Stumptown Trail. It's also the longest distance, 5,000 feet to the top. And they have some landfill history here as well. Opened in 1965, and there it is. Closed in 2006, but reopened in 2008 after the historic Cedar Rapids flood. More than 431,000 tons of flood debris were added to the landfill, raising the height by 30 feet. The landfill was closed permanently in 2013, and the trails and scenic overlook just opened up a couple years ago in 2018. And I was just here about a month ago. The natural high point of Iowa is located north of the town of Sibley. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. I'll post it at the end of this one. And this is fascinating. They also have the other high points located throughout Lynn County and the Cedar Rapids area. The Alliant Energy Tower is the tallest building in Cedar Rapids. All right, let's kick this thing off. The Stumptown Trail. Here we go. All right, well, let's do this Stumptown Trail to the top of this mountain of trash. Let's go. Look at that, you can see the mountain bike trail right here as well. So you walk your bike to the top and then you ride it down on these curvy dirt paths. Get some good airtime. You know, this kind of reminds me of Tornado Hill in Grand Island, Nebraska. I hiked to the top of that last summer and did a video on that as well, except for it's not tornado destruction here, it's flood destruction and flood debris. It is amazing to me though how these disasters can bring communities together and build these incredible parks for us to get out, reflect, get some exercise, get some fresh air, and feel like we've accomplished something marching and hiking to the top. I do like that about that, when communities do come together after disasters. So this is cool. The trail winds almost all the way around the peak. So you get a 360 view for the most part of the Cedar Rapids region. Of course, the award-winning Skyline picture will be at the top. You can still see remnants from last year's derecho, damaged trees all over this fence line at the bottom of the hill. A lot of winding trail to get to the top. This looks like a false summit right here. The real one, I think, is way up above. Could be wrong, but it looks that way from here. Well, that's always what you want to see when you climb a mountain. A sign that reads, "Warning, flammable explosive hazard." Only on Mount Trashmore. Yep, and there's downtown. There's the Cedar River. And there is Czechtown and the Czechoslovakia Museum there on my left. Still Still not at the top. And could this be the top? Is this the top of Mount Trashmore? Now I'm wondering maybe that is a false summit, but here it is. This is the top of the overlook. Almost looks like a roadway here as well, maybe for maintenance workers. It's almost like the top of a ski hill right here too. Here's the Trashmore Trail. No walkers, bikes only. Take a look at this view atop a mountain of trash. Mount Trashmore, you're beautiful. Well, I did it. I made it to the top of Mount Trashmore, the old landfill here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, now the highest peak of the city of Cedar Rapids, this giant mountain of garbage, this mountain of rubble, this mountain of trash that has been turned into a beautiful park in city landscape. This is fantastic, and what a great hike it has been getting to the top of this today. It's such a unique trail. It winds almost all the way around the summit. So yeah, here we are. Let's go take it in and check it out. They've got like a mini amphitheater? And check it out, they've got like a mini amphitheater. Outdoor seating. I don't know if they put on shows or just you can sit down as a group and take in this view. Cedar Rapids, you are beautiful. What a view. There's the Cedar River. It's really low right now. We've been in a big drought this summer. But back in 2008, this thing was flooding the entire downtown region of Cedar Rapids, and all of these bridges were basically underwater. Right there is the Czech American Museum, the Czechoslovakian American Museum, and that is Czechtown right there, kind of a cool historic neighborhood. Across these bridges, there is the African Museum there, the African American Museum. And then over here is the Nubo neighborhood, the New Bohemian neighborhood, which has really sprung up since the floods cleared in 2008. That whole area was kind of an abandoned warehouse, an old manufacturing area, not a lot going on there. But after the floods hit, they completely revitalized this neighborhood, and now it's a thriving hipster neighborhood called Nubo. A lot of good places to eat and drink and shop around there. And there's the Cedar Rapids skyline. Straight ahead, and you can kind of make out Quaker Oats. It's right in the middle of the skyline in the back there. Probably have no idea what I'm pointing at, but there you have it. That is the Cedar Rapids skyline. The second largest city in the state of Iowa. Eric likes it. Get it? Mikey likes it, life. Eric likes it. I tried. That probably went over most of your heads. All right, that's a classic 80s commercial. I never knew this, but this explains why that trail was called the Stumptown Trail. Apparently Stumptown was a neighborhood here in Cedar Rapids where a lot of Czech immigrants came and lived and worked along the banks of the Cedar River. All right, well, we've summited Mount Trashmore, the highest peak of Cedar Rapids. I feel accomplished. I think it's time to celebrate. I think I know just the place. I'll show you here in a second. Now, they close at 5 o'clock, and it's 5 o'clock right now. So instead of taking the scenic route back down, I have to take the lame gravel road path back to my car. So it is what it is. If you plan on taking your time at the top of Mount Trashmore, taking in the beauty of Cedar Rapids, make sure to get up here a little earlier than I did. So I'll be taking the Overlook Trail back to the parking lot, or the gravel road as it's better known. All right, so you can see the sign. I'm at the Lion Bridge Brewing Company in Czech Village, trying a tangerine wheat beer here. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. So cheers to reaching it to the summit of Mount Trashmore. Oh, that is awesome. That is perfect. It's kind of like a tangerine taste to a wheat beer. So it's basically a lighter wheat beer with a tangerine twist. This is perfect for a summer afternoon, especially after climbing a mountain of trash. So here we are at the Lion Bridge Brewing Company. And this place actually opened up a few years ago. And there is a awesome Lion Bridge. There's a and I'll show you guys here in a second. There's a bridge here that crosses the Cedar River from Czech Village to Nubo neighborhood. And it's been there for decades. I remember as a kid, it was my favorite bridge because there were statues of lions that were placed all along this bridge. Some people over the years would paint the lions' eyes red, so it looked like their eyes were glowing red. Super cool. I'll show you guys this bridge here after I eat and enjoy a few more beers for conquering that mountain. So here we are at Lion Bridge Brewing Company here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, one of my favorite breweries here in the Midwest. Had to get a chicken sandwich here as well. Looks delicious. Another beer. Cool mural in the background. You know what? I kind of feel like I'm in a giant kitty litter box. Hopefully that doesn't mean they have lions roaming around later. Well, here I am on this famous Lion Bridge of Cedar Rapids. Spans the Cedar River, connecting Czech Village with the Nubo neighborhood, the new hipster neighborhood. But these lions are located sporadically throughout this bridge. This bridge has been here for decades, 50 years or more, and it's one of my favorites in America. I've always loved seeing these lion statues as a kid. A lot of memories with this. And look, right behind me, looming over us, is Mount Trashmore. What an epic hike today, getting to the top of that historic hill, mountain, landfill, whatever you want to call it. So I recommend any of you that are visiting Iowa, come to Cedar Rapids, test your skills, hike to the top of Mount Trashmore. It will be an epic adventure that you will never forget, I promise. Well, that's all I have today. From Cedar Rapids, Iowa, this is Eric, and it's time for me to get out of here. Thanks for watching. Heck yeah. Conquered Mount Trashmore.